they have high hopes for him. He's a high motor guy. He has a lot of personality, and he certainly can be a difference on their defense. We've always had questions about whether or not he liked football, but football was part of his overall DNA. And I know him here for Los Angeles. He went to my high school prior to transferring to Oaks Christian. So I expect for him to bounce back, be okay, sit out the rest of the preseason, and be a part of their team week 1.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching him play this year, Key. And number one, I would say this. I hope he's going to be all right once they finish all the testing. And him being able to walk off the football field under his own power and his own weight, didn't need the cart, that was a good sign. But you want to go through the test and make sure everything is okay. But, Key, this play kind of it led to some banter on social media about, is it a dirty play and should they take this kind of play out of the game? And I'll be honest with you, I frankly did not think it was a dirty play. Now, I explained to you what I did believe, though. You have a player in Moss coming back as a wing offensive player and coming back, slicing backside the defensive end and Thibodeaux, right? And I think, number one, it wasn't a vicious slice back. I think both guys got caught in between, what should I do? And Kayvon Thibodeaux, I would tell him, when you have that red ball at practice and the coach is rolling it towards you, right, and you're using your hands, that's basically simulating cut blocks. And I just think him being a young player, being a rookie and not really understanding how to defend that kind of a cut block, I think it was a misfortune. I don't believe by any means it was a dirty play, but the confusion between people back and forth on social media is unbelievable. And I want people to understand this. We football is football. We can't just every time something happens that we want to take plays out of the game of football. And a lot of people are chiming in saying this is a dirty play. He didn't have to do this or whatnot. And I would lean back and say, well, what about Chris Godwin when he's catching a football across the football field and he doesn't see a defender coming to take his legs away, and then he tears his ACL, and now he can't start the year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have plays like that. But I thought it was a football play. I just think both guys could have been better at going about the football play, and I don't think that result would have happened that way.
He can learn based on the tools that they're teaching him to learn how to utilize his hands when he knows that a cut block is coming, to be able to hit the top shoulder pad, push a guy down, move his feet, do all of those sort of things. It's all reactionary. I don't see it as a dirty play. I just don't think it's necessary at times because you are big enough, fast enough, and strong enough to be able to handle somebody without hitting them below the waist.
But here's the thing I would argue back, though, Key. So if every time you're coming on that block, because sometimes, when you're slicing back, that DN might be coming up the field. He might not see you. So what if the head-to-head collision happened? And next thing you know, both players are knocked out.
I'd rather have a head-to-head collision than you hit me in my knees.
Okay,
because if you knock me out and we have a head-to-head, probably gonna be okay on a knockout. Be a little woozy, may need a little smelling sauce here and there. It may take me out the game and take me in the tent to check my neurological situation to see if I could pass the test. But if you hit me in my knees and you tear something, guess what? See, hitting a guy in his head and knocking him out, he ain't gonna lose his career. Multiple hits to the head, that's when you start to say, okay, it's a concussion situation, it's concussion protocol, things of that nature. One shot to the kneecap, as you know, Harry, can be a wrap.
I mean,
you can be done.
I've had the ACL, MCL, meniscus, the bone fracture all in one place. So I tore my knee up. But I will say, I'm not going to sit up here and say that I wasn't a guy that cut block. I wasn't big when I got into the NFL.
No, I understand.
So when I'm lining up in a slot, and I'm facing a linebacker that's 245, and at the time I'm 170, 175. For somebody to tell me I'm not a man because I'm not going head up with that linebacker, it's just crazy to me.
Here, I'll give you a story. In 1998, I played against Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith, Hall of Fame defensive end, Buffalo Bills. And I came down on a toss sweep. And I was I was on the toss sweep, and I was the down guy. So I was the point down guy tossed to me. But we would do it that way, do it this way, do it this way. Now, all of a sudden, they put me on the outside, so they motioned me down, and we tossed the ball, and Bruce Smith jumped out. And you could ask Bruce this to this day whenever you run into him. You talk about a dude that I could have ruined his career completely. Like, dude, I hit him so hard because they told me chop him. This was before they outlawed coming into the line of scrimmage and hitting a guy low. Bruce chased me. He chased me from the end of the play all the way to our sideline and was standing there while his team was in the huddle. I think they had to call a timeout because he was trying to get at me. You know, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, blankety blank, this is Bruce Smith. What did I just do?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.